No, I don't think that that's the case. And certainly, for example, even though this statement that the Prophet reportedly makes at Ghadir Khum obviously did not result in Ali becoming immediately the caliph, right? Even though if it happened as it's reported to have happened, all of the Muslims of Medina, basically all the Muslims of Medina, would have been present to hear it. And as I said, there are multiple interpretations of it. But the idea, I think, here is to be on the side that you think is the just side. That is exactly as Dr. Bastani said, to choose the side and then to choose the people, which may seem contradictory to this idea that's presented in Ghadir Khum. And I think there's a reason why this idea isn't found in reports of the sources prior to the Civil War. I think it's the particular confusion of the Civil War that made people, that made people want to try to look for, try to remember something that would help them decide between one side or another, because surely in the Civil War, one of the things that made it hard for people to decide which side to join was the fact that you had companions on both sides, prominent companions on both sides. But the issues were also unclear. Let's not forget that as well. And so I think that this became, in that very difficult and desperate moment, a way of validating for the followers of Ali that they had in fact chosen the right side. But let's not forget, certainly, that Imam Ali also had very generous things to say about other people. That he's very famous for the idea, expressed in other ways as well, other than as Dr. Bastani mentioned, that you should judge people according to their words and not words according to the person who spoke them. So I think that that's important, and not to lose sight of the fact that we need to independently judge what we're being told. Interestingly, also, Ali said about the Khawarij, who had, in many ways doomed his caliphate in some ways by opening this second front, and had, of course, hurt him very badly, I'm sure personally as well as politically. Someone asked him about them, and he said, well, it's better a people who sought after truth and missed than a people who sought after error and found it. And the Kharijites, who we just heard mentioned before, former members of Ali's camp, had seceded from his camp and were now opening a new front against him. So Ali was sort of standing both between the Syrians on one side and the Khawarij on the other. At this point in Ali's career, at this point in Ali's time as caliph, in Ali's life, this was perhaps the most desperate moment of his life. It was a moment in which there was hardly a sense that anything, any kind of political victory could come out of this very desperate moment. Ali's now fighting two fronts with a much reduced army. In both Sunni and Shiite sources, they say that at this very desperate moment in Ali's life, his closest supporters, which according to the Sunni historian Tabari numbered as many as 40,000, stood up and took a second bay'ah, a second oath of allegiance to Ali. Again, very reminiscent in some ways of the time of the Prophet at Hudaybiyah, facing a very desperate situation, also receiving an oath of allegiance from his followers. But in this particular case, this group of people, whom Tabari calls Ali's Shia, take an unsolicited second bay'ah for Ali in words that completely echo the statement of the Prophet at Ghadir Khum. They say, "We swear ourselves to a second bay'ah. We are the friends, awliya, of those you befriend, and the enemies of those whom you make your enemy." Meaning, even at this desperate moment, we will fight wherever you want us to fight. We will stand by you, whatever decision you make.